Morning, my name is Glenn Gibolina, and I'm a Manatee County resident. On Agenda 9, since we're talking about waste management, there's two items on 9. I will talk about the FP&L first. So, that's a $12 million contract on this, and this has been a downward modification of some type of downward modification, which is great. But my question is, you know, I've asked the size of the diesel generator, the operating cost of it, the depreciation of the equipment, and I've not received anything. I mean, you guys put $12 million out, and you don't know what you bought. You don't know the operating cost, you don't know the depreciation, you don't know what it's going to cost to maintain that, or what the kilowatt hour is cost. You don't know the depreciation, you don't know what it's going to cost to maintain that, or what the kilowatt hour is compared to our regular service or renewable energy services. So I guess my concern is, when are these questions going to be answered? I got a question. Well, we haven't even ordered the diesel generator yet. Well, how could you bid $12 million? And, you know, it's like buying a car. Do you want to know what size engine it is, the gas mileage, the safety features, the cost of operating that car? I haven't received anything of that. And I doubt that you have either. So I would like some answers on it. 12. And our friends at FP&L, you know, they wouldn't steer this board wrong. 40-year payback on solar, please. So that's my question. That's a serious... those are serious questions. The second thing on item number 9 is the refund. Do you see that one, Chairman Bussell?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I have a problem with this. This customer wants the board to write a check back to them for $84,000. We just heard about the great service from Waste Management. We heard about the great billing, but yet somehow this person didn't bother looking out their window for 6 years and seeing that they didn't have an 8-yard dumpster. Now, my question is that as a citizen, when I'm late on my garbage bill, I get a notice, I get a pink notice, I have to put out the collection, they come around, they say what's going on. Where's the transparency on this? I think the account, didn't anybody go out and say, where's this dumpster? He could have bought 10 8-yard dumpsters at this price, maybe 20. So there's a lack of accountability on this. And I say you're both at fault. I say do not write that check for $84,000. This customer has cost a lot of billing, a lot of postage, a lot of man hours to send those bills out. And the county's at fault where they can't keep track of this 8-yard dumpster. So I would table this agenda item and not offer the $84,000. I'll leave that into the record. Did you want to continue on?
Number 18.
Number 18. I got a real problem with this one. This is going to bring out, make my hair stand up on this. This is for the Baker Act service. I suppose we need it. I think it's a little high. I think several providers could have done it. But really, what really gets me is that you have come up with $195,000 out of the health fund. Now, we told you when that health fund was over, we're done. We are done supporting anymore until you come up with a solution. And what do? It appears on the surface that you took $645,000 out of the general revenue. Is that true? Because if it is, that's a breach of credibility with this particular citizen. So I want to know where the difference came from. When we specifically said, when we shut down the sales tax, the money runs out, we're over. Now, just because they need the services doesn't mean that the citizens should have to come up with the additional $645,145. I want to know where that money came from. And I want to know who approved it. And I want to know if there was any public comment on that. Because I don't think the citizens of this county would be very pleased with this. So that's the problem I have with this bid. I think it needs to be taken off the agenda and reconsidered.
Number 19.
Number 19. Again, I know this is the Tourist Development Fund money. It does not come out of coffers. I appreciate that. But $30,000 for feeding a second animal and for renting exhibits, that's the tourist development money. They can do what they want. But I would think that $30,000 could be well suited. The current Manatee eats a ton of romaine lettuce. I get that. I think for $30,000 we could build a romaine farm and feed both these for nothing. So I'm just questioning the money. Is feeding a manatee increasing our tourist awareness? I don't think so. I really don't. So they do a great job. I love Southern Art. I go to the stargazing thing. They have a great program there. I just don't think that the funding should go for feeding or renting exhibits to go to other exhibits. So that's my spin on that.
21.
21. Again, this comes out of the Tourist Development Fund. I think it's a good idea. I guess my question is there any data on how many tourists really participate in looking at this sand sculpture? It's before Thanksgiving. Typically, we get most of our tourists after Thanksgiving. This happens on November 8th. So really, where's the data on the tourists that come in to see this? That's all I'm questioning. I think it's a great idea. I personally like sand sculpturing. So that being said, I just like to have a little more data. 22.
22.
Again, Tourist Development Fund. This is in conjunction with the sand. My question is, this is $30,000. Again, it's not the taxpayers' money, so really it's not our problem. But my concern is, this would be better benefited after Thanksgiving. I don't know. Again, I've looked at the photos from last year. I'm going to be out there this year. I'd really like to see the numbers of, again, the tourists that come to this event. Because from what I've seen, it just seems like it's local residents and county officials' private party. I mean, I would like to see the tourists at this event, and I don't see the data, and I don't see the numbers that, to me, this citizen, that there's a lot of tourists going to that. So that's $30,000 in 3 hours. And I would like to know what the benefit that the community gets as far as bringing the tourists in. Again, it's before Thanksgiving. I just think at a later date you'd have more bang for the buck, and it's something to consider next year.
23.
23. This goes back to a lawsuit that Mr. Palmer took a deposition in, and I guess my question is that I looked at the docket, 130 docket entries, several depositions, hundreds of pages of testimony, and basically it boiled down to that there was no set rule for the transfer